Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about how you can know every company that visits your website.
So what is it, Eric?
So there's one tool, I'm sure you might know some others. There's one tool that you can use called Lead Feeder. Lead Feeder, that's L-E-A-D, feeder, Lead Feeder. So Lead Feeder, what they basically do is they are looking at the IP addresses that are visiting your website. And what they'll do is they'll give you a summary of all the pages that they visited, how long they stayed, and which company that they came from. And depending on whether you log into the dashboard, they will oftentimes have a dashboard that shows all the big main contacts or the LinkedIn profiles that you can contact. That way it makes it much easier for your sales team, especially because I know, like, let's say Microsoft has visited my services page or my case studies page a couple of times. It's probably relevant for our sales team to go use an account-based marketing approach to hit that enterprise account to try to close that deal.
What you'll find is there's going to be different tools like this for every single industry. For example, like in the pharmaceutical or healthcare industry, there's a company called Aperture that has been around for a long time. Whenever you're using tools like this, make sure you talk to a lawyer and are GDPR compliant. That's really important because you're using other people's data to figure out who they are and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know in what country you're going to be okay or if you're going to have any problems. But the big thing is when you're using this, and we've tried this, if your goal is to go after the Microsofts of the world, they have so many different organizations and sections in their business. Even with these softwares, when they tell you that people visited from Microsoft or Google or Apple or whatever it may be, just reaching out to top executives in the space is really difficult. And we found that it doesn't work too well. But if you go after mid-sized companies with 500 employees, 1,000, it's much easier to find the right person and the right department because they probably don't have tons and tons of product lines. So it's a great tool. It's worth it, but if you expect to just go hit up the Microsofts or the IBMs of the world because they visited your websites, you're not going to see too many closes and a big revenue impact from using these kind of tools.
So what Neil is saying is, what I'm hearing is, it depends.
Not even it depends. I haven't found it to work for any large corporations. When you're going after Fortune 1000, these tools haven't been too effective. When you're going after small and medium-sized businesses, they're much more effective. I'm not talking about SMBs like people who are starting up a company. I'm talking about SMBs like companies who have 100 million plus in revenue.
Yeah, so the point is, if you're going after the big dogs, probably unlikely, which I agree with. If you're going after smaller ones, up to 500 employees or so, you might have a better shot. And I've actually found that to be true. The response rates are much higher. And actually, the response rate success has been nil with the large companies. So Neil is spot on with that. Do you have anything else to add?
Make sure you're using chat tools. We've talked about Drift, Intercom. It's a great way to converse with people and find out who they are as well. If you have an email list, you can use, what's that tool we all use? It plugs in emails and it tells you the...
Clearbit?
Clearbit, there you go. We all use Clearbit. They have a free version on their website. You can test it out. I believe they have paid plans as well. And you can take your email list, see who the person is, their contact information, job title, all that kind of stuff. That could help you as well because when people come to your website, they convert into email and they don't give you too much data because they just opted in for an ebook. At least you know who they are and what their role and company is, because then you can reach out and try to close them for a deal.
Yeah, actually, I mean, if you check out, there's a interview I did on Growth Everywhere. If you Google Growth Everywhere Drift Guillaume, you're probably not going to be able to spell that. So you'll just find it, Drift Growth Everywhere. There's a guy named Guillaume. I think I interviewed two people from Drift, the CEO and then one of their VPs of marketing. And so you're looking for the VP of marketing one, where this guy, he's called the mad scientist, and he loves running all these growth experiments. So what he's done was, I think he's leveraged Clearbit and I think another tool called Mad Kudu, tied it in with Drift, which is like the chat software that they run. And that will basically enrich the contact. So let's say if they're coming in from Delta Airlines, it will customize a chatbot saying, hey, look, we noticed you came in from Delta Airlines. We actually work with a lot of companies like yours. And that he's found that to increase their response rate by quite a bit. And that's led to a couple enterprise deals.
Yeah, so that's it for us for today. If you want to attend a free in-person live event that we're going to be throwing in California, make sure you go to marketingschool.io/stats. Help us get to 1 million listens a month by reviewing, rating, sharing our podcast, and we will throw a free in-person event with food. It'll be the whole day. We'll have fun together. We'll teach you some new stuff. You'll probably teach us some cool stuff that we don't know, and we'll have fun together.